10 longest prison sentences. This should be interesting. This is like ever, like in history. So let's see what happens.
Want wrongdoers to get their just desserts. Occasionally, the quest for justice results in a bizarrely long prison sentence. Sometimes, these punishments are handed down to ensure the criminal can never be considered for a parole or early release. But those are obstacles that can't always be avoided. Moreover, even in that light, you might find the world's longest prison sentences to be a little extreme. The United States has more people incarcerated than any other country on Earth. That includes China, which has 4 times the population of the US and its own reputation for being heavy-handed with criminal prosecution. Yet the world's longest prison sentence was handed down not in the US, but in Thailand. In 1989, Chamoy Phipyaso was given a whopping 141,078 years.
How you gonna get somebody 141,000 years in jail? And that's number 10 on the list. I don't know what she did. It better be horrific. She better have did something horrific.
For corporate fraud. This white-collar criminal defrauded 16,000 people in a pyramid scheme, which netted her over $2 million. In Spain, a single murder.
Bruh, $2 million got you 100,000 years in jail. Oh man, so far that's seeming like the worst. That's number 10. Y'all let me know which is the worst out of all of this, and welcome to Rich House Crime.
Generally can only carry a 40-year sentence. However, if you happen to murder 192 people, it adds up rather quickly. In 2007, Otman El Gnawi and Jamal Zawgam were given almost 43,000 years apiece for participating in the Madrid train bombings in Spain, which killed 192 people and injured 2,000. Emilio Suarez Trashoras was given a slightly lesser sentence of over 34,000 years. Another 18 suspects were given lesser sentences. Many sources repeatedly describe the attacks as an Al-Qaeda operation. However, no direct connection between the bombers and the terrorist organization has ever been established. Charles Scott Robinson bears the dubious distinction of having received the longest prison sentence in the United States. In 1994, an Oklahoma court tried him for sexually assaulting 6 children. Life without parole was off the table, so jurors did the next best thing and recommended 5,000 years for each assault. The court accepted the recommendation and further concluded the sentences would be served consecutively rather than concurrently. The result is a sentence of 30,000 years. Robinson does not have the possibility
I have no sympathy for
parole, but his first opportunity won't happen until he's 108. In 1993 in Oklahoma, Alan Wayne McLaurin and Darren Benelford Anderson were sentenced to a total of over 6,000 years for rape, sodomy, assault, burglary, robbery, and larceny. They appealed, and the conviction was reversed. A second trial also found them guilty. This time, however, the jury was in an even more punitive mood. Anderson was sentenced to over 11,000 years, and McLaurin received over 21,000 years, putting him on the top 10 list. Guess they should have kept their mouths shut. On Halloween in 1976, Dudley Wayne Kaiser murdered his estranged wife, her mother, and a college student who had the bad luck of being at home when Kaiser arrived and shot all 3. The jury deliberated less than an hour before sentencing him to death. However, Alabama later ruled death sentences to be unconstitutional, and Kaiser was granted a new trial. This time, he was given 10,000 years plus 2 life sentences. Despite the lengthy sentence, he qualified for
Bruh, so you gotta die. You gotta go to jail, do life, die, then come back alive, do another life, die, then get 3,500 years on top.
for a parole consideration after serving 10 years. So far, he's been denied 10 times. In 1996, Martin Bryant perpetrated the Port Arthur massacre in Australia, which killed 35 people and wounded another 23. He was given 35 life sentences plus 1,035 years.
What's the plus 1,000?
All without parole. His lawyer eventually revealed Bryant had been motivated by the Dunblane School massacre in the UK. That shooting killed a teacher, 1 6-year-old, and 14 5-year-olds. In jail, Bryant eagerly awaited updated death tolls from his own spree. No motive has been determined in either case. The Port Arthur massacre directly led to the enactment of strict gun control laws in Australia. Authorities initiated a buyback program which netted 643,000 firearms. Similar events occurred after Dunblane. In 2012, James Egan Holmes walked into a Colorado movie theater and opened fire. He also booby-trapped his apartment with improvised explosives. Unlike most people on this list, Holmes had almost no record of criminal activity before the shooting. His mental state was repeatedly called into question, and for a time, he was ruled incompetent to stand trial. He pled not guilty by reason of insanity, but was found guilty of 24 counts of murder, 140 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of possessing an explosive device. The prosecution asked for a death sentence, but Holmes instead received 12 life sentences, plus an additional 3,318 years without parole.
That's crazy.
In 2015, Billy Joe Godfrey of Missouri was found guilty of 35 counts of forcible sodomy. Despite pleading guilty, he received a life sentence for each count. The crimes occurred in the 1990s with a boy and a girl, one of which was his stepson. The crimes were not revealed until the victims came forward as adults. Bobby Joe Long began as a serial rapist. He actively looked for opportunities to get inside homes, such as for sale signs and classified ads looking for repairmen. If he found a woman home alone, he would rape them. Eventually, he escalated to murder, and he changed his MO. Now, he primarily lured prostitutes and strippers into his car, where he raped them and then either slashed their throats, bludgeoned them, or strangled them. In 1984, he was found guilty for the rape and murder of 9 women and received 26 life sentences, most to run consecutively, as well as a death sentence. He continues to sit on death row. Long is suspected of raping over 50 women, and Long himself implied there may be many more murder victims. Rounding out our top 10 is David Hall. Found guilty of 55 counts of possession of child pornography, he was given the maximum sentence, 15 years for each count, for a total of 825 years. Hall was discovered after sharing images online through an account connected to his email address.
Wow.
For more top lists just like this, be sure.
So I guess they started out with the worst first, and then they did it the other way around. This was crazy. I have no sympathy. A lot of these charges are deserving of probably more charges than that. I think that I'm a parent. I don't respect nobody that did anything to kids anyway. So, if it's anything connected with kids, I'm all about that. If y'all like videos like this, let me know in the comments. I mean, I'm really not too confident about this channel, but I'm still thugging it out. So y'all let me know in the comments. Subscribe at the top bell. See you on the next one. I'm out of here.